name is Andrew Lee, and I'm going into my junior year at Lake Oswego High School. And this presentation, we're going to talk about I'm going to talk about what I did in summer, and the title name is Ask is the Best Food in Life, and I kind of already tell you guys like why, but yeah, probably not going to do it. So every presentation from Black and Beach, we all starts with a safety moment, and here's a safety moment for you. What do you do when there is a heavy traffic and on the highway? First, watch out for the brake light because you want to know how bad the traffic is. And second, press the hazard light so you want to alert the people behind you that there's heavy traffic. And third, press the brake consistently because you want to watch out for the safety distance, like at least 4 seconds apart. And always be patient because heavy traffic is going to be long. And for today's agenda, we're going to talk about what I did in Black and Beach for the summer. And first, we're going to talk about introduction and backgrounds about Black and Beach, and me as an intern experiencing with engineering, including electrical engineering, civil engineering, and transmission lines, and future of the field, and last but not least, acknowledgements and recognition. So a little background about Black and Beach. Black and Beach is one of the largest private engineering companies in the nation and is one of the global leader in building critical human infrastructures in energy, water, telecommunications, and government services. And our company provides energy for houses, factories, and more. And we start by building the substation that creates and provide and step up the voltage for the power and to transporting the power down the line for the people. And the company consists of 3 major departments: civil engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, and transmission lines. And all of them hold a major role to the missions that the company carries out. So in Black and Beach and Lake Oswego, we basically do power delivery, and here's a little diagram about, just short diagram about power delivery process. And here we have a power plant, also known as a generation plant. It basically creates power in lower voltage, and in order for the power to transfer through long distance, you gotta step up the voltage. That's what the step-up transformer is for. And step-up transformer to a high voltage to transmission level to make up for the losses due to the resistance over a long distance by the transformer. And then here we have tower and poles is just handing the power to another cables. And transmission substation basically provides and transfer bulk energy across the grid at a high voltage around between 115 kilovolts to 765 kilovolts. And here we have a distribution substation. It steps down the voltage to provide power circuits directly supplying the customers, such as residential, commercial, and industries with a voltage of 34.5 kilovolts or below. And home is just residential and commercial and industries. So my first part of the internship was electrical engineering, and as you heard, I was new to this area, and they oversee the wires, cables, and more within the substation. I was exposed to different tasks and areas, and my first job was to QA for 2 drawings, wiring and schematics. I kind of already talked about this, but I was also given a highlighter to highlight the parts that were matching, and a red, blue, green pen. Red pens for adding and changing, blue pens for taking notes for the drafter, and greens for deleting. And blue being drawings, because sometimes the physical drawings can be really blurry, and it's good to have a backup. And the transmittal letter is a Word doc that gathers all the information about the drawings and the bill of material, and we send it to all the clients that wanted the drawings. And I was given the bill of material and asked to sort them out, and the drawings that I just QA for, and an Excel sheet for that lists all the clients that wanted the drawings. My second part of my internship is civil engineering, and I have a little knowledge in this area because I used to do CAD design. They basically oversees the size and the material of the equipment, and I was asked to calculate the wind and size loading of the equipment and to create a foundation for the equipment. And my first task was to do all the math and physics, fun stuff, and this is me first day. doing it, and then the rest of it I kind of just slack it off. Yeah. And I also did a little bit of QA, quality assurance. I basically got a set of documents with the wind and seismic loadings, and I was supposed to check if the inputs in the calculation were right in MathCat, and also red, blue, green pen for adding, taking notes, and deleting. And using the calculation I just got, I was asked to make a design of the foundation for the breaker, and after concluding which load I should use, and I made a foundation with AutoCAD, including the anchor and bolts using Hilti, and Hilti is a program that basically you basically put in the size of your breaker, or like the foundation, and then they basically choose and decides which anchor and bolts you should use. And my third part of my internship was overhead transmission lines. I had zero knowledge in this area, and they basically oversees the power delivery line from one substation to another substation, and I was asked to recreate an overhead transmission lines. And my first job was to do a scope. My first job was to do a scope check, and I was given the Word document with all the instructions on it, and a series of different overhead transmission lines, and an Excel sheet. My task was to check if the components from the Excel sheets are the same on the PLS-CAD models, and if not, edit it. And also did a revision on it. And for PLS-CAD, I was given a model of overhead transmission lines, and my task was to recreate it from scratch in PLS-CAD, including the poles and the towers and the cables, and that took 2 weeks, so more than 2 weeks. And I had a lot of fun being an engineer, and this summer, especially in Black and Beach, and I learned and developed new skills throughout the internship. And this summer could be one of my biggest, could be the biggest step in my life. It really boosts my knowledge and the chances I could have in the future. I experienced different types of engineering and learn from it throughout the internship. I still have a long way to go, 2 years of high school and more after that and more after that, yeah. So I'm still trying to explore different fields and experience new things in life. But I really enjoy being an engineer, and I think I could really use the skills and knowledge I learned from this internship to make a difference in people's life. Last but not least, acknowledgement and recognition. I want to take a moment to thank my mentors on God, Kristen and Aaron, for being here and helping me throughout the way. I know I could sometimes be a pain because I ask questions after questions after questions, and God is actually here today, so yeah. And I also want to thank Mr. Draper for giving me this wonderful opportunity to work in this community. Black and Beach is such a positive work environment, and I really love all the people in it. And I also want to thank Saturday Academy for setting up all the wonderful events for the interns to interact and make friends. And last but not least, I want to thank my dad, Mr. Lee, for always being here for me, and basically forcing me into this internship, because I mean, it turns out fun, and at the end of the day, it was a fun experience. So,
we already did questions.